What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shogi from Shook Earth Media, and today I thought we'd talk about Dune, because I just saw it at the theater, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought I'd give you guys some of my thoughts. So, I'm a big fan of science fiction, fantasy epics. I really like long-form storytelling, and this movie is that in spades. This movie is clearly the first part of a trilogy, and it's good to hear that the second movie is already green-lit, because it's not a complete story in any means. It says right at the beginning, the title card says Part 1. And I really appreciate that, because the David Lynch version, I'm a huge David Lynch fan, so I've seen every film that he's made. So I've seen the original Dune. I haven't read the books or anything like that, but I actually did like the 1980s version overall. Especially the visuals, it was very striking and stuff like that, but the story was very rushed, and basically, like, the first 30 minutes of that movie is this whole movie. So, there's a lot to set up here. There's a lot of characters to get to know. There's different groups, and different houses, and different areas of influence, and all these different characters we're introduced to. And it feels like half the movie is exposition, but it's just fascinating to see. I mean, the visually it's just so striking. The color palette is very muted. It's very similar to the director's previous work. So I was really into that. The performances were very understated. So there's a lot of, whispering and stuff like that. It's not overdone at all, and it feels grounded in that way, but this world is very fantastical. The designs of all the production design, the sets, everything is so intricate. The spaceships feel huge, and everything has this scope and scale to it that is very impressive, and I love it. So, all of that is just a visual treat. The audio design is fantastic. I'm jumping around all over the place here, but the story takes its time. It's not rushed, like I said, so it's half the film is introducing all the different elements of the story, and most of the exposition is done artfully. Some of it is done through voiceover at the beginning, and then some of it's done through, like, Paul, the main character, the chosen one, if you will. He has scenes where he's studying, and we hear facts and stuff like that, and we see holograms that he's watching to explain a lot of it, and it's done in a graceful way. It is very clearly exposition, but it's not done in a way that annoys me or anything like that, because I'm very interested to see everything happening, and it makes sense. So, without getting into too many of the plot details, I will say that even though I knew the vague plot from the 80s version, I haven't read the books or anything, but I was, surprised. There are a lot of key moments. There's a lot of big spectacle moments that I really enjoyed. I felt like the cast was amazing. A lot of actors you're going to recognize. Some are unrecognizable in their costume design and their makeup and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that feels very alien. It's very otherworldly. The music does a great job of having a variety of influences, and it feels like you're in this distant place. So that's excellent as well. And the special effects, awe-inspiring. The world that they've created is absolutely incredible. And it's just a visual treat. And the audio design, Paul has all these visions of the future, and in all of those scenes, there's a very dreamlike quality to everything. And he has a lot of dream scenes as well, and that's very key to the plot, that these dreams are of the future, and they're very informational. And hearing it in the theater was incredible. I don't recommend seeing it. Well, I mean, if you can only see it on HBO Max, it's definitely worth the watch. But if you get the chance to go to the theater, like, hearing the echoes of these voices speaking to him in his dreams, and it feels like you're in the sand dune, and the atmosphere is incredible in sound design. So all that's amazing. And like I said, the scope of everything, the color schemes, everything just fits perfectly together. I will say probably my favorite character in the whole thing is Jason Momoa's character. He's a great fighter, and he has some excellent scenes. So everything, the pacing felt great. No scene felt wasted, and it didn't feel rushed either. It took its time to get where it was going. And I felt like there were a couple points where they could have ended the story, but it just kept going. And everything leading right up to the end is very interesting. And like I said, it's not a true ending. It's a very much a to be continued. So I'm really excited to see where the story goes from here. I'm tempted to read the book. I might read the book, but I almost want to see it in the film version because of how much I liked it. I mean, it was just an immersive experience, and being lost in this desert world just felt incredible. And I did like the effects and everything in the previous Dune version. I thought the look was very striking, but this has its own character to it, and it feels a lot more consistent, a little less over the top, and it feels like a world of its own. And yeah, as far as criticisms, there's not really a whole lot that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, it could have used a little bit more humor, maybe. I don't know if that's in the book or not. But other than that, I mean, I can't really think of anything to really complain about. It's just this big spectacle. And if you're into big budget sci-fi, I mean, you don't really have that many options. And this is one of the best that I've seen in a long time. I can't really think of another sci-fi movie with this high a budget and this scope that was as good as this. It's hard for me to think of. I would have to. Are we going all the way back to Star Wars? I don't know, man. There's got to be something I'm not thinking of right this second. But yeah, just an amazing film. Highly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. And I can't speak to how truthful it is to the source material, but I saw it with two people who are very familiar with the source material. They haven't read it in a long time, so they couldn't. I was asking them, like, how close was it? They said it was very truthful to the original, although they didn't remember all the particular details. So I couldn't tell you exactly what's different and what's not. But yeah, without getting bogged down in any more plot details, I just wanted to give you my overall impressions of the film, and I highly enjoyed it. And I recommend you see it in the theater so you can get the full experience. Otherwise, HBO Max, you know, if you want to watch it at home, that's cool too. But man, I hope you have surround sound at least. It's so good. I might go see it again. I really like it. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, keep it locked on Shook Earth Media if you like reviews like this and talking about various films and TV shows and comic books and stuff like that. Hit me with a subscribe, hit me with a like if you like this video, and comment down below your thoughts on the film as well. I'd love to hear from you. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody.